Bam! What's up, guys? Here today, bring you a manual Wailing 10 team that I feel is probably the most reliable one that I've seen so far, right? What I'm going to do here, and this is the reason why I continue with the old account. This is what I wanted to test, right? Because, I saw the team, and I was like, oh, I wonder if an unawakened chain can do that, right? Because the team that I saw it with, 6-star awakened chain, and I thought, those stats, I think we can reach them with an unawakened chain. And I came pretty close, right? And it's not chain's fault, all right? So I have an unawakened plus 0 chain. I've come very close, but it's not chain reaction's fault. It's my rune optimization's fault, right? I'm going to show you guys. Now, obviously, building my chain up further would actually fix the problem, right? But rune optimization, I am on a slot 2 crit rate. And remember, the whole point that we were farming Wailing is so that we can get away from that. I just didn't happen to have the substats required to replace the couple of hit runes that I've got on my chain reaction so that I can have like a couple fatal runes. It's a little like unoptimized, but the only thing we are actually lacking is attack. So we'll get into that. And what I've got here is a small series of videos about this particular team in general, and we'll talk about some other teams in a bit. But this particular team in general is going to, I want to talk about this one because it relates the most to the progression path that I suggest, right? So like starting with chain reaction, awakening chain reaction with Master Eon guide, Master Eon's guide shard reward, right? Plus the legendary Omni Gems. So you have like a 5-star awakened chain at the very least, right? Hopefully you would also farm his EDs over like however long it takes you to get to this point, as you can farm quite a lot through the month, right? Or however long it takes you to get to Wailing 10, right? Following this path, which, is a good couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks at least, right? In which case, like, you could gather quite a few more chain reaction shards, maybe summon some extra shards of his, right? Point is, like, it is somewhat obtainable to say, hey, your chain reaction is going to be a lot better than this one, all right? Which is going to make things a lot easier. So what I've done here is I've taken a 5-star max level unawakened chain reaction. We've thrown some runes on him, and then I've skilled him up a bit, right? Because I don't have the extra shards to build him further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to showcase another person's chain reaction. And then we're going to talk about someone else's chain reaction who is semi-autoing Wailing 10 using the same team, all right? Now, this is the 1-star clear. We have cleared Wailing 10. However, with this much, the only thing we're really lacking is the attack power. We're currently seeing it about like 100 something, like 107 crit rate, 249 crit damage, right? We've got 4,500 attack power, and I'm going to show that at the end of this. So let me skip here. Let's skip ahead a bit, all right? So as you can see, chain reaction wound up getting killed. Sprocket finished it. Sprocket's on tanky runes. She is 4-star unawakened max level, and she's on some pretty bad runes, but we made her somewhat tanky, all right? As you can see, Light Hex died. It was a very long run, so Sprocket's heal was actually keeping us alive for a lot of it, which is, it's kind of interesting, right? We've got like these really basic entry-level units, all right? And we were still able to down Wailing 10. So there you go. There's Wailing 10, 1-star. That was it there. Like, I was just testing the team out after modifying some runes, and I was like, oh, I'm actually going to, down it, right? I wasn't expecting to down it, and I did. So here are the entry-level stats here. As you can see, like 8,000 attack, 8,000 HP for Light Hex. As you see, slot 2 crit rate. Now those hit runes I would like to be able to replace. And the dodge runes I would also like to be able to replace for chain, right? So he's only got 4,500 attack power. If he was like full fatal set, or at least if he was double fatal, right? If he was double fatal, I would like to be able to make those dodge runes hit runes, and then make those hit runes fatal runes, or something similar, right? So I can put attack slot 2 on chain. That would fix his optimization up. That would fix his stats up. He'd probably be rocking about 6k attack, 100 plus crit rate in that particular case, right? If you can do that with your chain, even as like a 5-star unawakened, like this one here, this is going to be like so much easier, right? And then boom, you know, you'd kill him easy. Now, what I want to show you is what happens when we take this chain reaction, this same chain reaction, and so that's the kill, sorry. Now, this is how hard he hits on the waves. Sorry, I want to show you that first. So this is our fail, this is a fail run with no skill ups in chain. Now, as you can see, 3200, 3300 crit on the wave, right? He'll take about 5 Thunder Slams to kill them. Alright, it's like 5 or 6 depending on how unlucky you get with the crits, alright? And you see, boom. Now we'll skip through a little bit more. I try to use Running with Chainsaw to take out the middle guy. You see we lost Light Hex, of course. Now this team's going to work similar to the Wailing 19s, right? So you got Light Hex, Chain Reaction, and then Sprocket, as for manual, is going to be there for the Disrupt. Chain's going to basically kill the boss on his own. Sprocket's going to be there for your Disrupt, and for a little bit of healing if you're not putting out enough damage, right? Then you see there, I try to heal Sprocket up a bit to make sure that she kind of, well, try and hope that she can get through to the next wave. As you can see, the enemy monsters aren't having any of that, right? They're not too happy, so they do try to kill her again. I get the taunt with Gulper, and then I should be able to finish. I think I finished them before we lose Sprocket here. With now that mana drain is something you want to watch out for. All right, that mana drain is something you want to watch out for. I think CVMG recommended to like running with chainsaws the mana drain units, the little mages in there that mana drain you, to try and kill them before they can mana drain you, which would help a ton, right? So I didn't do it there, but that would help a ton if you're having issues. And we're gonna bring his video up so that we can compare stats on the chains, right? Very shortly. Obviously, link in the description below. I recommend subbing to the guy because he is further ahead with this. And then, of course, I'm going to link Pokay too because he's at the semi-auto stage for this particular team. Neither of my accounts have enough chain reaction shards to take this any further. All right. So what I'll be doing is gearing up my main account with like Slam Bam. Maybe I'll try Chain, but at the moment it's looking like I'll be trying to use Slam Bam and Boomer, or just Slam Bam and Sprocket, right, for my own main account. That's gonna be, I mean, that could be like another couple weeks before I actually have the team ready to go. All right, because Slam Bam shards are like locked behind Arena and EDs, and I don't hardcore farm EDs. All right, so I will be putting out some like B10 videos to showcase because I have the units fully built for that. Same rune quality, but like 6-star awakened units, right? So I'll be putting out like a manual B10 team and a semi-auto B10 team, which both using my main account and the alt account very shortly, all right? But for now, as you can see, this particular run only failed because we lost Sprocket in a really bad way. That steam gun that he does hits really hard, especially when it crits. Like if it crits, it one-shots, all right? At least with our quality. Now, what I wanted to show you, I believe, yeah, so that's no skill ups. Now, if you remember, when he Thunder Slams here, boom, 3200, all right? Now, this is with skill ups, all right? So this is like another 25% attack on Chain Reaction, Thunder Slam, and boom, 4200. So it went up like an extra 1000 damage just from those skill ups. So if we could get our slot 2 on attack power, that would be mint, all right? Now this does fall short a little bit. Like this base chain with skill ups still it's a lot smoother, a lot cleaner, but still not the most reliable thing in the world, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to the boss and I'm going to show you guys the damage running with chainsaw. So remember, this is the same runes, but you can see that now we're like almost 4-shotting. Like we're almost 3 to 4 shotting the Yeah, we're almost through the four-shotting the waves here, alright, with our Thunder Slam. Which is, I kind of feel like 3 would be the magic number, but 4 would definitely be appropriate, right? If we could 4-shot them every, like if we could use 4 Thunder Slams and kill them every time, that'd be pretty nice, alright? Now, when we get to the boss, you'll see that his running with chainsaws now also does increase damage. We haven't skilled it up to the reduction in mana, but we have skilled up his damage, and you see, boom. So, like, we did enough damage to take an entire, what do we call that? Not the bar, but like, you know, entire section of his HP, right? So if we could do that like 5 or 6 times, that'd be nice, right? Obviously, it's not going to happen every time, as we just saw. But basically, you just repeat your action. If you can get that extra skill up, that'd be great. Because at this point, if you follow the progression path of Chain Reaction, Master Eon, you've saved all your skill up stones because you haven't needed them so far, and you dump them all into Chain, you'll almost be able to do both skills. Skill priority wise, now CVMG has his done up for the running with chainsaw skill, right? So he's maxed that skill. I kind of found that the Thunder Slam ability, I found that like the waves were more problematic than the boss, right? So like quite a lot more actually. Because either way, once we got to the boss, we were still able to kill it, right? Unless we got some kind of bad RNG here with who he attacks, all right? See how we survived that steam cannon? There was no crit. That was all right. Now we got the Gobber Taunt off just a little bit too like slowly, and he winds up attacking Chain instead of Gulper. Otherwise, we would have actually won that fight, right? Really nice example. Now, yeah, so in CVMG's case, what he's done is he's chosen to skill up the he's chosen to skill up the running with chainsaw skill. Now, what I'm going to do here quickly, I'm going to jump to our runes again. All right, where are we? So you can see chain stats: 4,500 attack, 107 crit rate, 249 crit damage, right? So remember those stats. Because when we load up CVMG's video, we're going to jump to his stats quickly for his chain. Because this is what I want to show you guys. So I want to compare... now, he's running a 6-star awakened chain, alright? He's running a 6-star awakened chain, plus 3, I think it was. Yeah, so as you can see... Oh, I've opened it up in the wrong tab. Hang on a second. Sorry, I've opened up in the wrong program. There we go.
So it turns out W10 is actually really easy.
There you go. And see, he reckons it's super easy, which I agree with. I think Wailing is super, super easy to break into in comparison to Beast. It pretty much eliminates RNG for the most part once you reach like some really basic stats. So here you go. You should be able to see that properly now. That's my bad. As you can see, 113 crit rate, 243 crit damage. So very similar to the chain reaction we're running. Now, he's obviously got quite a bit more HP, so I'm guessing he's rolled some nice crit rate subs, plus he's got that 6-star awaken going on. And as you can see from his attack, he's only 5,400 attack, right? Or 5,500 attack, right? 5,493. He's almost at that 5,500 point with his chain reaction, whereas we're sitting at about 1,000 attack less, right? Which, if we were able to, if we had those fatal runes, right? So if we had that 6 set of fatal, or even if we just replaced 2 more fatal runes because we had the substats on, like the crit rate substats to replace those hit runes with, or the dodge runes with, preferably the dodge runes, right? We'd retain our crit rate, but we'd be able to put the slot 2 attack rune on there, which would actually boost us over CVMG's chain reaction, who is 6-star awaken, right? So as you can see, he is on some very like basic entry-level runes himself with this chain. And what I want to show you guys is just how much damage he does in comparison, all right? So I want to show you guys what can happen with this team here. So here's the start. Now watch this.
Slam through every...
Boom. So you can see, very simple kind of, you know, it's not that much of a difference in, or it is I guess it is a bit of a difference in the crit damage, right? So We crit for 4300. He has crit for 4900 to 5k, like 4800 to 5k, right? Which is the difference between like 3 or 4 thunder slams, right? That's enough to like kill guaranteed on the 4th, basically. At least I think so. So we'll watch this a little
first
bit.
2 phase, you just thunder slam over and over and keep the gulper up, and the gulper will pull threat, put a defense buff on your guys. And like,
Waiting for that thunder
so
slam.
my light hex and my sprocket are on terrible runes. Your igniter for B10, I guarantee you, if you take your runes off your igniter and put them on your chain, you'll probably be able to do this better than mine, because I'll show you my chain runes. Like, he's like 113 crit.
So you see that? He's only one more thunder slam away. That was his 3rd thunder slam.
Rate,
You should be able to finish him on the next one.
Crit damage, 5500 attack. Anyways, get your mana back, thunder slam. If one of those little
boom, see? So 4 thunder slams, guaranteed death, just from that little increase, right? And he's right. If you're having issues with, like, he's completely right. If you've been having issues with B10 consistency, take a break. Try this, all right? Because like, most people's igniter runes are gonna they're gonna be so much better than what are on my chain, what are on his chain, and it's gonna like it's probably gonna have their chain looking kind of ridiculous, even as an unawakened 5-star, right? So that's kind of the point I want to drive home here, is that he's clearly, like, CVMG here is using a 6-star awakened +3 chain, all right? I'm using an unawakened +0 chain, and we can have similar results, right? Based on how we optimize our rune quality. So for anyone worried about needing like a fully built chain reaction, it's very obvious that you don't. And I'm hoping that I've proven that with this. Now, what I would like to show you guys is I don't actually have any footage of Pokay's auto team, but CVMG, in this rest of his video, he talks about how he, or at least I think it's in this video, I have seen him talk about how, like, he hopes that it will turn into a full auto team. I have seen ThePocay. I'm gonna link everyone down below here, and I want you guys to go watch. I want you guys to go, like, sub to him, follow him, whatever you need to do if you're interested in this particular team, because I won't be able to follow this team. Sorry, I won't be able to follow up with this team on my own main account. All right, I just, I wanted to test it on the alt account to see how far we could push the entry level, to give you guys kind of an idea on, hey, maybe I can make my chain reaction work even if he isn't fully built, right? Which I hope I've done now by showing you guys this, all right? Now, let me just show you his running with chainsaws hit.
The light hex and the sprocket,
all right?
Then it'll be under 3 minutes, and I won't have to worry about...
There you go. So he's running with chainsaws 2600, and right there he's also talking about how if his sprocket and light hex were like max level kind of a thing and they survived the boss, he'd have it under 3 minutes, even with the stats that he's got now, right? Which is very fair. Look at his time. Look how close he is, right? So you'll not only be able to get your 3-star quite easily with this particular team, eventually you can work this into a full auto team. And what I want to show you guys is I have a couple of screenshots here. So but as you can see here, so this is Pokay's chain reaction. 6700 attack power, 1100 HP, 136 crit rate, 245 crit damage, alright? Now, 6-star awakened, +5, alright? And he is running his chain reaction on a slot 2 crit rate, alright? So, he has a lot of room for improvement, alright? If he modifies that rune to a slot 2, attack power, you'll also see that his set effects, he's missing a set effect, alright? So if his runes were better optimized, so obviously he's using, he's gone for like the broken, rune set, going for like the powerful substats that he's gotten from his B10 runes, right? So there's a lot of room for optimization with this chain. This chain can easily be like a 10k chain, or like attack power chain with like 100 something plus crit rate, and it would just obliterate, right? Now, currently, he can semi-auto for like, he has tried, like, the full auto attempts that I've seen were like 60 to 90%-ish, right? Like, they don't always go to plan. But when he semi-autos, oops, let me drag that over. When he semi-autos, as you can see here, there's an 80% clear rate. Actually, this one might have been a full auto, actually. But this one here, this 90%, I'm pretty sure was this was a semi-auto. So what he does is he clicks the middle guy, and he just lets it run. He clicks the middle guy, and it clears. Now, I would have liked to have like grabbed some footage and shown you, but I wasn't able to do that. However, if you want to check it out, go to his channel, go to the videos section of his Twitch channel. So this, I'll have all this linked below if you're interested in following along with Poke here, because CVMG and Poke are both well ahead of my main account for this particular team. So like if you're interested in building this team, definitely go check them out and ask them questions when you can. All right. But this team fits in really well with the progression path that I'm talking about. Now, alternatively, all right. So let me close that because we don't need that up anymore. Alternative units, right, that you can take instead of, so like, because I can't build chain reaction, I don't need to build chain reaction because I can't build, like for my particular account, what I want to work towards is Slam Bam, all right, and I have a nicely built boomer, all right, have a nicely built boomer. So what I would like to try for my own account is boomer and Slam Bam. Now this is my alt account that you're seeing right here. You can see I want to showcase Slam Bam skills here. All right. For my like 3-star, as well as full auto. The team for my main account, I currently have like a 5-star Awakened Slam Bam, and obviously my boomer is a I've had my boomer finish for a while. But so like Slam Bam here, why I like Slam Bam, he's got a bonus hit on his first skill. All right, so you see this deals a bonus hit if HP is 60% or lower when attacking, and you can skill it up for 80% or lower. Now, for the lower level dungeons, defense break isn't that important. As you guys might remember, defense break for Wailing 9 was like pretty nice, right? As soon as you defense break that boss, Super Show Elf could just one-shot it, right? That's how good defense break is. Now, for Wailing 10, I want to, for my personal account, follow something similar. So I'll be using Slam Bam. And when you awaken him, he gets defense break on that bonus hit skill. So think of him kind of like a tri-tip, but he's not defense-based damage. He is attack-based damage. He has a 7 mana kit. So 5, 6, 7. You cannot reduce the mana cost. He does get defense, like he's got a chance of getting defense up for 1 turn. And he's got HP increase leader skill, which we won't be using because we'll be using light hex leader skill, of course, for the diminish immunity. I wanna trial running it like like we did with Wailing 9, right? So I'll have light hex leader skill for diminish immunity. When we get to the we'll get through the waves. Light hex will take a couple hits, maybe die. And then Slam Bam plus Boomer or whatever other DPS, maybe chain reaction, right? So maybe I use the unawakened max level chain reaction I've got, and we do something similar where we would have defense break on the boss, and then chain reaction. We use his defense ignoring skill, right? So we'd use like running with chainsaws to combo into an even more powerful attack, right? That right there, super powerful combo, I reckon. But of course I will be trying it with like Boomer at first because both for the attack up and the wave clear. There are other teams, of course, but this one here I thought you guys might be really interested in seeing in practice with an unawakened chain reaction, just to show you guys that hey, you can use him for Wailing 10 even though he's not like fully built. All right, that's the main goal of this video, is to show you guys that hey, Don't fuss too much about needing to try and fully build these units. Just try and get your rune optimization alright. You can achieve this on Wailing 8 runes quite easily. Like try and get some rare runes. Alright. Even if you've got some nice substat 5-star runes, right? So like I think I had, yeah, so like that crit rate rune is a 5-star. The slot 4 is a 5-star. So like these ones here in particular, slot 3, 4, and 5, they can be 5-stars, especially if you've got some really nice substats, all right? Because again, his defensive stats aren't the important part. It's how fast he can kill the waves and how fast he can kill the boss, right? Those are the important stats for the actual chain reaction for this run, all right? Now, alternate like other units, right? A lot of people are talking about Trigger Happy at the moment. Trigger Happy is a great unit, but if you're gonna build Trigger Happy, you're gonna be in the same boat as if you want to build Slam Bam, right? If you could build both together, that would be pretty sweet. I could see like Slam Bam Trigger Happy working. Maybe it's a bit like it might work kind of slowish on the waves, much like Wailing 9. I'm gonna use that as another comparison where if we run 2 DPS, like single target DPS, sorry, if we run 2 single target hitters, you're probably going to look at like 4 to 5 minute runs, all right? Unless they're one-shotting units, right? You're probably going to look at like 4 to 5 minute runs, at least early on until your rune quality improves. If you're running some sort of AoE, like maybe Boomer or whatever, you'll cut that time down to probably like 3-4 minutes full auto. This is obviously taking into account if you're like looking to use that for a full auto team and you build up that rune quality, right? Because rune quality is going to play the most important part here, in my opinion. Rune optimization for breaking in, rune quality for making that break in turn into a full auto. Now I have seen another team. Oh, so not another team. Yeah, so I have seen another team by a couple of French creators. I think they're French. Either way, I can't speak their language. All right. However, they're running Trigger Happy Leader skill. Trigger Happy's got a crit damage leader skill, and he does a bonus hit, right? So the reason Trigger Happy is being talked about a lot is because he does this bonus hit when he has a couple buffs. Now, any unit with a bonus hit, really powerful. So Trigger Happy does it with buffs. Slam Bam does it once he loses some HP. The reason I really like Slam Bam, obviously, the 3-turn defense break, much like Tri-Tip for Wailing 9, 3-turn defense break. However, if you're running double DPS, you're not going to have an interrupter, a disrupt, like Sprocket, right? Because even Sprocket on damage, not that big a deal. However, if you're running double DPS, you are going to take a charge skill. When you take that charge skill, guess what? Your HP is going to drop. You'll probably drop below 60% HP. You're going to start bonus hitting the boss as well. So it's kind of like a last stand double hit, right? You're pretty much guaranteed that bonus hit, which is really nice. Now I think Trigger Happy, let's say you lose Gulp or something, like if you skill this up, activates with 2 buffs or more, maybe his bonus hit doesn't proc. Like I could see like some situations where maybe the RNG gets you and his bonus hit like doesn't activate for you. Mind you, not a big deal, right? His bonus hit, still really good unit, still really strong. And if you run them together, even better. You will need to kind of like share your ED hunting by getting them. You can get Slam Bam from Arena, I'm pretty sure. So let's go to the shop quickly. Let's see, Arena shop, I think. Yeah, so there's Slam Bam there. Trigger Happy, I think, is like exclusive to ED farming. Let's just check guild shop quickly, just in case, right? And yeah, as you can see, old Trigger Happy not there, but good unit, still very good unit. If you can get your hands on Trigger Happy, solid unit. Other units, obviously like Washbuckler's a nice unit, probably not going to be the most useful for it though. I would recommend like out of the pool of units that you have access to for swapping in and out, Chain Reaction, Boomer, Slam Bam, all like probably your top choices to start with. I know Rayy2D2, he used his Igniter he used Nightmare, Igniter, and Trigger Happy to get his 3-star. So he has like a manual team that uses Nightmare, Igniter, Trigger Happy. All right. Probably not good on auto, like full auto. He could probably semi-manual it really well. And that would probably get him some nice clears. But yeah, in terms of this particular team, I just wanted to showcase this, show you guys the chain reaction sprocket team. You can swap, and if you do wind up swapping the sprocket out, I'd recommend like Boomer or Slam Pam. All right, because once your rune quality goes up, you will be able to take one of those charge skills, much like the Wailing 19 does, and then hopefully the boss is dead before you take another one. Is essentially what you want to try and aim for. Like, it is a DPS race when you go for when you go for the light hex team, right? It is essentially a DPS race against the charge ability itself. Now the French guys, they were using Trigger Happy. I think they were using Trigger Happy, Chain Reaction, and Flash Wing, actually, right? So really good example, like, and they're full autoing, right? So really good example. Let me see if I can pop this up quickly. Yeah, Trigger Happy, Chain Reaction, Flash Wing, all right? And they're full autoing this, right? So I'm gonna pop a link to their channel too, if you want, and as well as to the video itself, so that you can check them out. Let me open this quickly. There you go. So these boys here, I want you guys to, there you go. Where's their logo? There you go, guys. All right. Now I'm gonna link them below. Now, as you can see here, they're using Chain Reaction, Trigger Happy, Flash Ring. Now they're using Trigger Happy's leader skill, and Flash Ring does some heals. Right, Flash Ring does actually heal during the boss. We'll have a quick peek.
Proc le passif, c'est un petit détail, mais ça reste une bonne chose. Donc pour une première composition, c'est pas trop mal.
Waiting for Flash Ring here.
Autour de 50%, donc c'est trop peu. C'est pour ça
never mind. Never mind. My bad. But essentially, what they've chosen to do is, instead of remember how we were using Flash Ring for Wailing 8, right? Well, they're doing something similar, only obviously they're going all in on their damage. And essentially what we're doing with Flash Ring here is we're reducing the amount of damage we take in. So they're countering the diminish with the heal, and they're countering the charge ability with the heal, much like we did for Wailing 8. All right. Now these guys have crazy stats. All right. These guys have like, their stats are almost as good as Pokay's, all right? That's a really, like, that's the Trigger Happy. Yeah, so that right there, that Chain Reaction, really nicely tuned Chain Reaction. It kind of looks like I think he's on a slot 2 crit rate, right? He could probably get away with putting like a slot 2 attack there, have that 100% crit rather than 130 crit. For the kill itself, as you can see, 19k HP Flash Ring. Very, very hard to kill Flash Ring, alright? Gonna link to these boys down below. As you can see, they are like much further ahead again with the Chain Reaction kind of Wailing 10 team. But they are full autoing it, as far as I'm aware. Where this comes into play here is like, when we were doing Wailing 8, we're using Flash Wing to get that heal out, to counter the diminish, and then our double diminish team, so Hex Crit King, just trying to out DPS before they get killed, right? Is essentially why the heal was there to begin with. That's why we didn't need like a really strong healer. Like, that's why we could get away with using like a level 40 jetpack, right? Because we just needed like a little bit of extra to keep our DPS alive just a little bit longer, so that we can like out DPS the boss and down him. All right, that's why we could get away with it. We handled the diminish mechanics with a little bit of healing, and then we were able to get away with having like a bit less DPS, but still, it is a DPS race at the end of the day for for Wailing, right? For B10, it's not so much a DPS race because most people that do B10, like you can like 3-shot the boss, right? If you're not 3-shotting the boss, you're probably 2-shotting the boss, all right? So B10 is more, it's like less of a DPS race, even though there's like the 10, you know, the countdown for the revenge. You can generally kill him long before that revenge shows up, even with like a 4k attack power igniter, right? Or any other 4k attack power unit that has some nice crit rate, crit damage. You can generally kill the B10 boss much sooner, as long as you get those procs from like Ninjini or Igniter. If they proc, the boss dies. Very easy, right? What you're more fighting there is the crit RNG. So if that boss crits your team, you're usually going to lose a unit or you're going to wipe, right? That's the problem with B10. Whereas with Wailing, the boss is going to use his charge ability. That's time for you to get free hits on the boss, and the boss is going to use his diminish attack on your villain or another unit that's not super vital, e.g. like Hex. That gives you even more time to get more damage out. So you get heaps of extra time. You've got no threat of a revenge happening. You can just beat on the boss repeatedly and down him, right? Much safer, much cleaner, all right? But so what they've done there is they've used the flash wing to counter that diminish and the charge, and you know they're maximizing their damage output basically. All right, kind of. I mean, if they, yeah, like chain reaction, trigger happy, light hex, it's kind of like a toss up, right? Because if you put flash wing in there, you have to deal with the fact that Flash Wing's going to heal, which takes away from your DPS. If you use Light Hex, you're missing out on Trigger Happy's leader skill, which is pretty huge, right? That's like a lot of extra crit damage. But you are immune to the diminish. So it's probably about the same, honestly. Like it probably evens itself out, regardless of which way you go in that particular case. But as you can see, that team was full auto. They have nice rune quality. Those boys have spent a lot of time in B10 from what I'm told. And yeah, like the ThePocay, if you want to see his semi-auto team with the chain reaction sprocket going, go have a look. As for CVMG, he's going to be there soon. He'll probably put out another YouTube video once he's got it on full auto himself. So like I said, go follow these guys if you're interested in this particular team. I'm going to continue working on my main account for the Slam Bam team, right? So once again, units that I'm really looking forward to here: Slam Bam Boomer or Slam Bam Chain. Utilizing Light Hex leader skill is the team I'm going to try and aim for with my main account. And in the meantime, while I finish collecting runes, right? So for optimizing the team, as well as shards for Slam Bam, I will put up a couple B10 videos for you guys because those are pretty much set to go. All right, I got a nice entry-level team. I got a nice semi-auto team. I think I might have a 100% semi-auto team as well, and then we'll go from there. All right. So this has been manual that can potentially turn into auto. I just want to showcase the manual team. And this has been a lot of talk about auto, but not much showing, unfortunately. But we'll get to that later. It'll probably be like another couple weeks. We're probably looking at like 2-3 weeks, depending, before I put that video, like a full auto video out or something. Just depends on our luck, all right? Depends on our rune RNG, as well as how soon I get these units finished being built, because I want to go in and show you guys what they look like strong, right? Anyways, thanks for checking out the video. I hope this was somewhat informative and helpful. There will be, like I said, a full auto video on Wailing 10 when it's ready to go. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.